Katie Ledecky has dominated women's distance swimming for years and years now. While she's been caught by the rest of the world in the 200 and 400 meter freestyles, she stands completely alone in the longer races. Earlier at the 2024 Paris Olympics, Ledecky won the second ever women's 1500 free by over 10 seconds, while breaking her Olympic record set in Tokyo by 5 seconds. That swim was also the 8th fastest in history, and the final swim that Ledecky needed to make it a clean sweep of the 20 fastest swims ever in this event. While Ledecky was never really challenged in the 1500, she had the potential to be pushed in the 800 free by Australia's Ariarne Titmus. Titmus was the first swimmer to ever beat Ledecky in the 400 free, where she now owns the world record and has had a stranglehold on the event for the past few years. While she's taken over the 400, Titmus keeps looking to add an Olympic gold in the 800 free. In Tokyo, Titmus pressed Ledecky through most of the race, finishing second in 8:12.57 to 8:13.83. Ledecky was still the favorite heading into Paris. At this point, how could she not be? But there was extra buzz added to the possibility of Titmus pulling off the upset when Titmus actually swam faster at Australian trials than Ledecky did at the American trials. Ledecky took a slight lead over Titmus over the first 100 meters, leading the Aussie by a quarter of a second. And it was clear that Titmus wasn't going anywhere over the next 100 meters, as Ledecky managed to only widen the gap by a single hundredth. In fact, at the 300 meter mark, Titmus managed to cut into Ledecky's lead, but again, only by a few hundredths. These two athletes had separated themselves from the rest of the field as they dueled with one another, as Lonnie Pallister sat back in third. At the halfway mark, Ledecky slightly outsplit Titmus, but 100 meters later, Titmus narrowed it back down again. Meanwhile, in the battle for third, Simona Quadarella had taken over the bronze medal position. Things started to develop a little more through the 600 mark, as Ledecky outsplit Titmus by the widest margin yet. However, it was Paige Madden with the fastest split of the field, as she began charging and went past Quadarella. Ledecky pressed her advantage again at the 700 meter mark going into the final 100, adding even more distance between the two swimmers as Madden continued to close. Through the last 100, all three swimmers picked up the pace as Titmus chased Ledecky and Madden chased Titmus, but nothing would stop Katie Ledecky from winning another gold in the 800 freestyle. Titmus broke her own oceanic record for the silver, while Madden had a massive personal best for the bronze. Katie Ledecky has won another gold medal in the women's 800 freestyle, and that gold does two things for Ledecky's legacy. Firstly, it ties her for the second most Olympic golds ever, behind only Michael Phelps. And secondly, it makes her the second swimmer to ever win this same event at 4 different Olympic Games, as Ledecky won this event in London, Rio, Tokyo, and now Paris. The only other swimmer to do it is again Phelps, as he won the 200 IM in Athens, Beijing, London, and Rio. Ledecky had a similar streak going for world titles in this event as well. She won this event in 6 straight world championships in 2013, 2015, 2017, 2019, 2022, and 2023. In the end, the only thing that could end the streak for Ledecky was scheduling. Due to COVID delays, there was also World Championships in February of this year, a World Championships that many swimmers didn't attend since it was an Olympic year, including Ledecky. Ledecky even won this race while sick back in 2019. The illness was bad enough that she chose not to contest the 1500 or 200 free, but she was still able to swim and win this event while being less than 100%. Katie Ledecky spent the peak of her career redefining what's possible in these events. Her world records in the 800 and 1500 freestyles will likely stand for a very, very long time, but now that she's removed from her record-shattering years, Ledecky continues to redefine what's possible for longevity in these races. In fact, Ledecky hasn't just been coasting off of the massive lead she's had over the rest of the world in these events as she's won more gold medals. In the last few years, she's put up some seriously fast times. Last year was particularly eye-opening as she blasted the 3rd and 6th fastest times ever in this event. Her win in Paris is the 14th fastest swim of all time in this event, and I probably don't need to tell you that the only one faster than that time is herself. With this historic four-peat, I can't help but keep coming back to one single question. Can she go for 5 in 2028? That just sounds ridiculous to say, but Ledecky has turned doing ridiculous things into her legacy in this sport. It's kind of what she does best. This 800 free was an awesome race to watch. It is great to see Ledecky get pushed in this event by Titmus, and I'm glad Titmus keeps taking up the challenge of taking on Ledecky in her much more favored event. What did you think of Ledecky's swims during these games? Which was more impressive to you, an Olympic record in the 1500 or a hard-fought battle in the 800? Let me know down below.